Breaking free, why we restrain our spiritual growth and how to break through. Welcome and namaste. This is Chantel from She Achieves Studio and sheachievestudio.com. Now, spiritual growth is one of the most empowering journeys we can take in life. Yet, despite our deepest desires for peace, clarity, and connection, many of us find ourselves restraining our spiritual branching. We know there's more to life than meets the eye, yet something holds us back from fully expanding, evolving, and embracing our truth. But why do we do this? And why do we block our own spiritual growth? Well, here's a few reasons and explanations that you may or may not resonate with. And the first one is fear of the unknown. One of the most common reasons we restrain our spiritual growth is fear. Fear of the unknown. Spiritual expansion often requires stepping outside of what we've always known, away from comfort zones and in the vast unknown of possibility. Now, this can be very intimidating. Our minds may resist change, trying to keep us safe, clinging to old beliefs, habits, or comforts, keeping us from taking that first step toward something deeper and more meaningful. Now, we might fear that if we fully embrace our spiritual selves, and in Guna Yoga, we call this Sat Nam. It's a Kundalini mantra, Sat Nam, which translates into truth is my essence. Truth is my identity. The only identity I need is truth. So sometimes when we do want to fully embrace our spiritual selves, but we're scared, again, because we might be misunderstood. We also may worry about that journey might reveal something we may or may not be ready to see. And it's not about the world around us, but it's about who we are on the inside, away from the labels, the names, the judgments, the expectations, and projections of other people, places, things, and experiences. So we stay where we are, playing it safe, hiding from the transformative power of spiritual growth. And honestly, we're not meant to know how it's going to turn out until we get there. We tend to jump ahead out of the present moment to where we think we want to go and where we want to be. Now, there's a difference between preparing and getting prepared, getting the ducks in the row to move us into where we want to go without abandoning the present moment. But a lot of times we leave the present moment and we go forward, and when really what we need to get us forward is to be in the present moment. And that can be a bit of a rabbit hole. So stay tuned to She Achieves Studio Spotify channel for upcoming teaching guided energy meditations. Okay, let's get back to why we block our spiritual growth. Here's number 2, the burden of past trauma and wounds. Our past experiences, especially those of trauma, can create a deep-seated resistance to spiritual branching. Now, many times emotional wounds create fear-based coping mechanisms that make us feel safer in our own small, predictable worlds. We convince ourselves that avoiding deeper introspection or healing practices will keep us safe from re-triggering past pain. However, these unhealed wounds can often keep us stuck, limiting our ability to connect with our true essence. Now, the fear of confronting painful memories, the unknowns of healing, and the potential of vulnerability can make us stay within the walls of the known, no matter how limiting it may feel. So Maybe we need to stay in this comfort zone to move from survival into thriving. And then we stay in that thriving space for a while. Then we may find that we're now ready to step into the unknown, which will ultimately bring us into a space of evolving. Number 3, cultural conditioning and external expectations. This is a big one. From a young age, many of us are conditioned by society to conform, whether through family expectations, cultural norms, or societal pressures. We are taught what is acceptable and successful. Anything outside of these boundaries can seem like an act of rebellion. Now, spiritual branching, in this case, may feel like an act of defiance, and that can be scary. Our societal structures often value productivity, competition, and material success over inner peace, authenticity, and connection with the soul. This creates a disconnect. We may not even realize that we're holding ourselves back from spiritual growth because the dominant narrative tells us to prioritize external accomplishments over internal alignment. Number 4, self-doubt and feeling unworthy. This is a big one for me, personally. Another significant reason people restrain their spiritual growth is self-doubt. We may not feel worthy of the deep peace and joy that spiritual expansion promises. Many of us have been taught to question our own abilities, to second-guess our intuition, or to think that spirituality is reserved for a select few. Well, self-doubt can be paralyzing. It leads us to question if we're doing things right or if we're even spiritual enough to begin with. And these beliefs can result in us stepping back, staying small, and doubting our inability to fully embody the authentic self inside. And this is called getting in your own way. Number 5, overwhelm and the overwhelm of choice. Spirituality can feel so overwhelming with so many paths, teachings, and practices to explore. It can be very hard to know where to start. We might find ourselves paralyzed by too many options, too many ways to approach spiritual growth, and ultimately we end up doing nothing. We might feel overwhelmed by the idea of needing to fix everything in our life and self, and fixing it all at once, or even trying to make a quantum leap toward spiritual enlightenment. And this pressure creates resistance, and instead of stepping forward, we hold ourselves back. Wow, those are some pretty big pain points. So how do we break through the restraint and begin branching spiritually? Well, now that we've identified why many people restrain their spiritual growth, let's talk about how to shift and break through these barriers. The journey of spiritual growth is not about perfection. It's about gentle, consistent movement in the right direction. Here are some ways to release the self-imposed restraints and invite spiritual branching into yourself, soul, spirit, life, and world. Number 1, start small. Start safe. Start where you are. Spiritual growth does not need to happen in leaps and bounds. Absolutely not. Even a tiny shift in perspective can open the door to profound changes. Start with small practices that bring you peace, whether it's a moment of mindfulness, a short or long meditation, or journaling about your feelings or drawing pictures. These simple steps can help rewire your mind and soul to start embracing spiritual growth. And that's where SheAchieveStudio.com comes in. Check it out for all of the live stream, in studio, or self-paced courses and practices to engage you into safe spiritual growth. Now, number 2, embrace the process, not the outcome. And that takes restraint. It takes patience. It takes shifting from doing into observing, listening, breathing, and witnessing. Spiritual growth is about embracing the journey, not racing towards some distant, magnificent destination. Let go of the pressure to be anything. Simply be. Trust that each step, no matter how small, brings you closer to the authentic self. Allow your practice to unfold in its own time. Honor where you are and show up. Number 3, release limiting beliefs. Take time to reflect on the beliefs that might be holding you back. Are you afraid of the unknown? Do you feel unworthy of peace? Identify these beliefs and gently begin to challenge them. Replace them with beliefs that empower you, such as, I am deserving of peace and I do trust my soul's path. Number 4, work through trauma with compassion. Healing from past trauma is essential for spiritual expansion. It's okay to take time to process these wounds. Healing isn't a race. Approach it with compassion. You might consider working with a therapist, joining a supportive community, or incorporating practices like Guna Yoga and meditation with me, Chantel, at She Achieves Studio to help release stored emotions. Now, a little fun fact about She Achieves Studio: we are a trauma-informed and trauma-sensitive, inclusive, accessible, and ethical yoga energy studio. Number 5, create sacred space for yourself. Creating space in your life to connect with yourself is so powerful, whether it's through yoga, meditation, journaling, walking outside, taking a long bath, just sitting still and listening. These practices create a channel for your soul to express itself. Sacred space can look different for everyone. It's all about what feels aligned for you. Number 6, join a supportive community. Well, listen, on Facebook, She Achieves Studio has Guna Yoga Methodology private Facebook group. And I also offer, again, live stream, in studio, and even outdoor yoga practices, private, companion, and even group. Check it out on sheachievesstudio.com. Now, sometimes the best way to move forward is with support. Find a community that nurtures your growth, whether it's through a yoga group, a spiritual course, or like-minded people. Having people and friends who understand and support you on your journey can help you feel safe and less alone in this exploration. Now, the journey ultimately begins with you. You get to choose to step in or step out. It's your choice. Spiritual branching doesn't happen overnight. It's a lifelong process of unraveling, expanding, and becoming. We often restrain ourselves because of fear, trauma, doubt, and external pressures. Be honest with yourself. But through these mindful practices, self-compassion, and the guidance of tools like Guna Yoga and She Achieves Studio support you so you can move beyond the restraints that hold you back. It's time to release the fear. It's time to move forward, to release the fear into courage, to let go of doubt into confidence and challenge, and trust that your soul is ready to expand. You have everything you need within you. I always keep going back to that, working with people in sessions or classes, or even Guna Yoga 200-hour yoga teacher training. You have everything you need inside of you. It's just how to get there. So you begin the beautiful journey of spiritual branching and watch what happens. The question is, when are you going to take that first step? Reach out at any time. She Achieves Studio is committed and devoted to helping the world connect with the truth of the soul one breath at a time. I say namaste. Peace and love.